A little bit further back. Yeah, okay. Fire! Shouted the cop over the speaker. A hail of bullets rained upon the windshield, shattering what was left of it that survived the firefight between Muslim and non-Muslim cops. Some of the spray bullets some of the stray bullets shot out the window of the cop car Yeshua and the two others were in, hitting Mehboob in the shoulder and grazing Ziad's cheek. Thinking that the two Muslims might have a bomb in the car like in the van, the bullets continued to tear into it even after it stopped. Wali al-Din staggered out of the cop car, shooting at the ground, being that his arm was too shot up to raise it at the shooting cops. By the time he hit the ground, 20 bullets had blasted into him. Even after he fell, his lifeless body seemed to jerk about as the bullets kept on coming just to make sure he wasn't wearing a bomb vest. When the cops quit shooting, the cop on the speaker shouted out, "Okay, okay. Next?" Ziad Jabir made a gulping sound and turned white in color. Mahbub was gasping at air and moaning in pain from the bullet almost striking a main artery. Ziad continued to look like he was about to bolt from the scene. He's in a cop car stolen by the lead Muslim named Yeshua Muhammad Yeshua uh, Yasser. I found the name Yeshua in a book of Muslim names. I thought, well, what the heck? Sure, it means God saves. But I'll continue here. Yeah, Mahbub was gasping at air and moaning in pain from the bullet almost striking the main artery. Ziad continued to look like he was about to bolt from the scene. Yeshua Yasser smiled and asked his two fellows, "Ready?" Mahbub gasped out in pain, "Brother, why don't we turn ourselves in? Remember, Sheriff Jamal, he is in charge of this chapter." Ziad Jabir then desperately jumped in, saying, he could speak for us, and Allah willing, let us go." Yeshua Yasser smiled and said, "Yes, he certainly could." Ziad continued in a near shout with great fear in his eyes, nearly crying with, "Yes, brother, he could. Why kill ourselves for Allah, if Allah can use us later?" Ziad Jabir looked through the glass partition that had many bullet holes in it from the firefight. Half of it was now gone. Ziad suddenly saw a blowhorn sitting between Yeshua Yasser and Mehboob Mazen. Ziad quickly, desperately said, nearly shouting, "Brothers, why don't we start reciting Quran 938, 39, and 111 out at them using that loudspeaker? It might make those brothers of ours up there turn their weapons on their Kafir partners. I mean, look what happened just minutes ago." Yeshua Yasser said, "All it will probably do is make it so they won't fire on us. There is still more Kafir cops than them, brother. Can we at least try it, brother? Can we at least try it, brother?" asked Mahbub in pain from the bullet that struck him. Yeshua Yasser quit smiling, turned to them, and said with disappointment in his voice, "Look here, brothers. What part of kill and be killed in the cause of Allah do you not understand? We charge them like brave Wali and Thayer just did. And we no longer have to stick our patooties in the air. There, I said it. We don't have to do that no more. No more patooties in the air 5 times a day, every day for the rest of our lives. We can have virgins and booze that won't give us hangover. We can have pretty eternal boy servants feeding us grapes on pillows as we recline on them in the shade. Boys who are eternally fresh and chaste, that you'd think were like scattered pearls. Not only that, but I don't know about you, but uh, I'm not that well. Oh, what is the word I'm looking for? Well, I'm not like one of our black brothers down there. If you know what I'm saying, no, I'm saying I want a palm tree sized penis, like Muhammad, may Allah pray on him and give him blessing, has promised us. I want my bloody wounds from sword to smell like musk, like Muhammad, may Allah pray on him and give him blessing, has said will happen if we die in Allah's cause. As the cop in the loudspeaker called out again for them to turn themselves in, Yeshua Yasser smiled and started laughing, saying, as we drive into the hell of bullets, I suggest we put on our seatbelts. For safety reason? Okay? Ha! They will find us bullet-ridden, yet driving with seatbelt. Ha! It will be funny, don't you think? And Yeshua Yasser let out a big hearty laugh. Mahbub and Ziad didn't laugh. They just couldn't believe they were about to die in one man's effort to get a huge palm tree sized penis and boys to feed him grapes while reclining on pillows forever. Muhammad Yeshua Yasser smiled with a look of ecstasy, then said, well, time to become giant. Right when Yeshua was about to kick the cop car into overdrive, and go out under a hail of bullets like Wali and Thayer, Ziad shouted out, having a big penis is nothing, brother. It's a bother, brother. Really, believe me, it's more trouble than pleasure. Yeshua Yasser laughed and said, how do you know? Ziad Jabir thought desperately and said, believe me, brother, I know. Allah bless me well down there already. Besides, it gets in the way when wiping. So, said Yasser, can't you grab that thing and lift it up out of the way when wiping? If you can't, ever heard of the soap and the water, brother? Ziad Jabir desperately then shouted out, Hadith has Muhammad saying that since Christians and Jews don't dye their hair, we're to do the opposite of Christians and Jews. Guess what, brothers? Christians and Jews use toilet paper and they use the soap and the water. So, we aren't even to use soap and water. If we get our big dicks shitty, just use dirt. Like Quran says, if there is no water around. Ishu Yasser rolled his eyes and said, that's only if there is no water for ablution are we then to use dirt. And it's not dirt, but clean dirt. Clean soil, brother. What the burning fire is clean soil? How would you know it was clean? Shouted Ziad with desperation, hoping he could keep the three of them entering a hail of bullets. Yeshua Yasser thought and said, sand? Sand would be clean soil, I think. Yeshua Yasser turned and faced... Yeshua Yasser turned and faced the line of death awaiting and said, time to get the virgins. He was just about to put the stolen cop car into drive again when suddenly, he and Mahbub cringed when Ziad desperately shouted out, I don't believe in Allah, and I don't think I ever did. I think Muhammad was being squeezed not by Jibril in that cave when Muhammad said he couldn't read, but instead was being squeezed by the shaitan. Muhammad did think he was possessed by a demon, and you can't deny that, brother. He even climbed a hill to throw himself off to try to free himself from it. Muhammad, Yeshua Yasser, and Mahbub Mazen looked around slowly at Ziad Jabir with looks of horror in their eyes. Ziad then shouted, I looked at the CD we picked up in that place near Seattle. It didn't really register with me of just how stupid Islam is until you started shooting Atif, who I know was intelligent and waiting and wanting to believe in the truth. You killed a pious man for a religion that says it's okay to rape women in front of their disbelieving husbands. Ishir Yasser looked. He had a look of horror in his eyes. Mahbub was just sitting silent, was just looking down silently, putting pressure on his bullet wound to try to stop the pain and bleeding. Can you believe this, Mahbub? Can you believe this? Shouted the horror-stricken Yasser. Do you see just how satanic those CDs are? Kabashi has to die. It's made it so Ziad is going to have his beautiful skin burned off and replaced daily throughout eternity in hellfire. Mahbub continues to look down. He then said, Yasser, I think Ziad might be right. Islam is nothing but a fantasy. A stupid, deadly fantasy that only leads to making those who believe in it look like evil, crazy dummy. And face it, we've been acting like evil, crazy dummy for a long time. You know it, brother. Ishir Yasser felt as though he was just stabbed. He cried out, shouting, No, don't say that! Shaitan has gotten into the both of you!